Imagine two scenarios playing out side by side. On the left, we have someone frantically scrolling through their phone. Now look to the right, there's someone sitting calmly, taking a few deep breaths. Their eyes are closed, and they appear to be in a state of deep focus. This person is clearly taking the time to thoughtfully consider their options before making a choice. Ever found yourself in a situation like the one on the left, where you're faced with an important decision, but the pressure is mounting, your mind is racing, and you just want to get it over with as quickly as possible? But what if I told you there's a way to avoid that? A method that can actually improve your decision-making abilities by up to 20%. The secret lies in the power of mindfulness. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with choices from the mundane, like what to have for dinner, to the life-changing, like which career path to pursue. And it's easy to get caught up in the stress and anxiety of it all, rushing to make decisions that we may later regret. But by incorporating mindfulness into our decision-making process, we can tap into a deeper well of clarity, focus, and inner wisdom. Watch this video till the end to learn about decision-making with mindfulness, and at the end I hope you will become a good decision-maker in any situation. Segment 1: Why mindfulness matters in decision-making. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had an important decision to make, but your mind was racing, filled with anxiety and uncertainty? Maybe it was choosing between two job offers, deciding on a major life change, or even something as simple as what to have for dinner. In those moments, it can feel like your brain is working against you, clouding your judgment, and making it nearly impossible to make a clear, confident choice. I know that feeling all too well. A few years ago, I was faced with a big career decision. Should I stay at my stable, well-paying job or take a risk and pursue my dream of starting my own business? My mind was in overdrive, listing all the pros and cons, the potential risks and rewards. I felt paralyzed, unable to tune out the mental chatter and really listen to my inner voice. That is, until I started practicing mindfulness. Once I learned to quiet the noise and tune into the present moment, everything became clearer. I was able to step back, take a deep breath, and assess the situation with a calm, clear mind. Suddenly, the decision that had felt so fraught and overwhelming became much more straightforward. Studies have shown that mindfulness can have a profound impact on our decision-making abilities. In fact, research indicates that practicing mindfulness can improve our decision-making skills by up to 20%. That's a pretty remarkable statistic when you think about it. You see, when we're stuck in a state of stress or anxiety, our brain goes into fight or flight mode. We lose access to the higher-order thinking skills that allow us to weigh options, consider long-term consequences, and make thoughtful, values-aligned choices. Mindfulness, on the other hand, helps us cultivate a sense of calm, clarity, and focus, the perfect conditions for making wise decisions. Segment 2: Common decision-making pitfalls. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had to make an important decision, but you just felt completely overwhelmed? Like there were too many options to consider, and your mind was racing a mile a minute? Or maybe you were under a tight deadline, and the pressure was on to make a choice fast. I remember one time when I was trying to decide whether to take a new job opportunity or stick with my current role. On the surface, it seemed like a no-brainer. The new job came with a higher salary, better benefits, and more room for advancement. But the more I thought about it, the more anxious I felt. Eventually, I just ended up making a hasty choice, going with the new job offer because it seemed like the logical thing to do. But within a few months, I realized I had made a huge mistake. The new role wasn't a good fit, and I was miserable. I ended up leaving after just 6 months, feeling like I had wasted so much time and energy. Sound familiar? We've all been there, faced with a big decision, and let stress, overwhelming options, or our own emotional biases cloud our judgment. And the consequences can be significant, whether it's a career move, a relationship choice, or even something as simple as what to have for dinner. But what if I told you there's a way to avoid these common decision-making pitfalls? a way to approach even the toughest choices with clarity and confidence. That's where mindfulness comes in. Segment 3, how to practice mindfulness to improve decision-making. Okay, so we've covered why mindfulness is so important for better decision-making, but how exactly do we put it into practice? Let me walk you through some simple yet powerful mindfulness techniques you can start using today. The first and perhaps most fundamental mindfulness practice is focused breathing. I know it may sound too simple, but trust me, this can make a world of difference. Take a deep breath with me right now. Inhale slowly through your nose, feeling the air move into your belly. Hold it for a moment. And now exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the tension leaving your body. Breathing exercises like this help calm the mind and bring you into the present moment. When you're faced with a big decision, taking just a minute to do this can clear away the mental clutter and allow you to think more clearly. Another powerful mindfulness technique is the body scan. This involves systematically tuning into the sensations in different parts of your body. Start at your toes and slowly move your attention upwards, noticing any areas of tension or clenching. By becoming aware of physical sensations, you can identify where you're holding stress in your body. This self-awareness is key, because that stress and tension can cloud your judgment when it comes time to make a decision. The final mindfulness practice I want to share is the art of pausing and reflecting. When you're faced with an important decision, resist the urge to act impulsively. Instead, take a moment, even just 30 seconds, to pause, take a few deep breaths, and reflect on the situation. Ask yourself questions like, what are the core issues here? How am I feeling about this decision? What are the potential consequences? Both short-term and long-term, slowing down to consider these things can make all the difference. Incorporating these mindfulness techniques into your daily life, even in small ways, can have a profound impact on your decision-making abilities. Give them a try and see how they work for you. I'm excited for you to experience the benefits of mindful decision-making. Segment 4, practical tips to sustain mindfulness in daily life. You know, one of the biggest challenges people face with mindfulness is actually making it a consistent habit in their daily lives. It's easy to get excited about it. Try it out for a few days, and then slowly let it fall by the wayside as life gets busy. But I'm here to share some practical tips that have really helped me weave mindfulness into my everyday routine. And trust me, it's made a world of difference, not just in my decision-making, but in my overall well-being. First thing I do every morning is start my day with just 5 to 10 minutes of mindful breathing. It's the perfect way to center myself before the chaos of the day begins. I find a quiet spot, get comfortable, and simply focus on the sensation of the air moving in and out. It's amazing how much clearer my mind feels after this simple practice. And you know, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out session. Even just a few minutes can make a big difference. The key is to make it a consistent habit, like brushing your teeth. Over time, it becomes second nature. Another tip that's been super helpful for me is using mindfulness apps. There are so many great ones out there that can send you gentle reminders throughout the day to take a mindful break. I love using these during my commute or when I'm feeling particularly stressed at work. Just a quick 2 to 3 minute session can help me reset and refocus. And speaking of work, I also try to integrate mindfulness into my daily routines, like when I'm eating lunch. Instead of mindlessly scarfing down my food, I make a conscious effort to slow down, pay attention to the flavors and textures, and really savor each bite. It's amazing how much more enjoyable and satisfying my meals are when I approach them with mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice, and it takes time to build those habits. But I promise, it's so worth it. As we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with a final thought. Incorporating mindfulness into your decision-making process can truly be life-changing. Instead of rushing headlong into decisions, I learned to pause, to reflect, to consider all the angles. And you know what? The choices I made weren't just better, they felt right. They aligned with my values, my goals, my true self. It's amazing how just a few minutes of mindfulness can transform the way you approach life's big and small decisions. So I encourage you, my friends, to give it a try.